For our assignment, we decided to go with the attitude of self-confidence and to discuss why we think self-confidence is really important for children and to recognize that self-confidence is an essential in children's daily lives. Self-confidence will lead to better decision-making as well as the fact that children who feel good about themselves have the confidence to try new things. They are more likely to try their best as well as feeling proud of what they can do. Self-esteem helps children cope with their mistakes and let children try again, even if they fail at first. As a result, self-esteem helps children do better at school, at home, with their friends, and in their everyday life. Self-confidence will lead to a higher standard for yourself and have a positive impact for young children. It promotes children's needs to explore, as they will be feeling sure of their abilities and they'll be more inclined to go exploring the world. However, children with low self-esteem will often feel unsure of themselves. If they think others won't accept them, they may not want to join in, as they will feel like they will be judged by all their peers. They even might let others treat them poorly as a result, as they may have a hard time standing up for themselves. Children with a low self-esteem might tend to give up easily or not try at all, and they'll find it hard to cope when they make a mistake, lose, or fail. As a result, they may not do as well as they could or hoped. It is for these reasons why we want to promote this type of attitude with children, as we feel that self-confidence is one of the more integral pillars for development. For the past few years, the image of the child is for a majority of adults and even educators have been negating the idea of instilling confidence in children, as they are almost seen as lesser people than adults, thus leading to adults treating them as such. With our curriculum, we feel that this strays away from the type of bias and rides the recent trend of having these children believe in themselves more and to have a more beneficial development during early childhood.
So the question is now how the development of self-confidence relates to the development of the competencies of social emotional learning. So the competencies we chose were self-awareness, self-management, relationship skills, and responsible decision-making. So first of all, with self-awareness, with a higher self-esteem, it would lead to children being aware of their strengths or their ceiling of potential, whilst also having a well-grounded sense of confidence or optimism with a growth mindset. So this being implemented into children's thinking will improve their self-awareness. So for self-management, with confidence or with more confidence, you have the assurance of yourself, which leads to trusting your own ability to control oneself or for your own emotional regulation, which leads to an easier time managing stress and self-regulation. Furthermore, for relationship skills, the more you are confident with yourself, it leads to better relationships, as it leads to confidence in your own communication skills. So children would be having an improved relationship with peers in general. Furthermore, having confidence, you will be less likely to participate in inappropriate social pressure, as you will have a more balanced mindset with this higher self-esteem. Also, having an idea of your limits and ceiling of potential will lead to a better understanding of when to seek for help or ask for peers for assistance. Then for the final competency of responsible decision making is when you have a higher self-confidence, it leads to having more of an assurance of your own ability, which leads to trusting your own decision making, as it leads to a calmer process of deriving a decision.
Regarding the SEL competencies, there are a number of benefits which are related to how these skills are important to implement in schools. Some positive outcomes for a student's future are that as students graduate towards higher levels of schooling, training, and employment, social and emotional skills become increasingly important. Social and emotional competencies can help students manage stress and decide on goals and planning for the future. Positive outcomes for student achievement. According to CASEL, quality of teaching of SEL promotes student satisfaction, success, and academic engagement, outcomes, and achievement. Positive outcomes for student mental health are that the Australian Research Alliance for Children and Youth notes that students who ensure that SEL is part of their teaching and learning can give students the opportunity to build resilience to deal with change and unpredictability. This is an essential part for positive mental health.
So in our curriculum, we have 2 different activities which attempt to improve the attitude or skill of a higher self-confidence or higher self-esteem. Therefore, we had to base our approaches on what is defined by the CASEL, which incorporate a number of techniques which is represented by the acronym SAFE, which stand for sequenced, active, focused, and explicit. The element of sequence states that there needs to be a connected and coordinated activities to foster skills development. So in the context of our 2 activities in our curriculum, the activities are connected as children and educators can identify them as an improvement of one's self-confidence, which in turn improve the skills associated with social emotional learning. Furthermore, the activities will work well in children curriculums as they are easy to implement in class schedules and easy for children to do. Furthermore, the activities are active as the children will be actively participating in the activities. For example, in the first activity, the children will be tasked to write one positive thing about one of their peers and pass the index card along the circle. This would be done instead of the educator lecturing about the topic of self-confidence, for example. Furthermore, an active practice of these skills will be used, which will lead to new skills being deeply integrated in the child's life. Then we incorporated the element of focus by having the activities be mainly centered around the one idea of developing the attitude of self-confidence or self-esteem, which leads to a more focused approach in the development of personal and social skills in children. Finally, the activities will be explicit as the activities will be presented in a simple way to the children so that they fully understand the purpose of the activities without any confusion happening with the children. And it is for these reasons why we think the curriculum that we made is one that is beneficial, as the integration of self-confidence for these children may lead to positive outcomes in the development of their social emotional learning skills, and it is a curriculum which is easy to be implemented in the curriculum for children.